Hello and welcome to the Quick Start System Settings video tutorial for ESILAW. It is important that you take the time to ensure that your system settings are correct, as they will set the precedent for how ESILAW will run in the future. Some of the fields will already have data based on questions that you answered in the Setup Wizard. You do not need to re-input this data if it is correct. Click Review System Settings to proceed. The System Settings tab on the System Settings screen lets you modify the program options and settings to suit the way you work. These options apply to everyone who uses ESILAW. Click Edit to begin. Use Enter, Tab, or the mouse to navigate through the fields. In the Company Name field, enter your firm name. Use the Common City field to record the city in which most of your clients reside. Before beginning data entry, you must decide whether or not to use matter or subfiles. Matter numbers are used to differentiate between individual matters for the same client file. If you do not use matter numbers, a new number is assigned to each new client job. Select the client number format that best suits the needs of your firm. You will have to contact technical support if you need to change your client number format after beginning data entry. Under Clients and Matters, select Automatic Numbering if you want the program to automatically generate client and matter numbers as files are opened. After all of your clients are entered, ESILAW will automatically generate the next available number. Under Receipts, select Automatic Numbering if you want the program to automatically generate receipt numbers when entering receipts, retainers, and trust receipts. Select Number Receipts by Bank to maintain separate numbering systems by bank. You can also enter the last receipt number used by your firm. Otherwise, ESILAW will start with receipt 1. Next, select a date format that is used by your firm. Reports, data entry programs, and all other screens displaying dates based on this format. This may be dictated by the country in which you live, or it may be a firm choice. I recommend that this date setting match the short date setting on your computer under the control panel. In the Language field, select your preferred language to display program screens and reports in. Individual users may also select their own setting using the language option in User Settings. Next, in the Financial Year fields, enter the start and end dates of your current financial year. The date range that you enter for your accounting year must be the year in which you will start to enter data into ESILAW. Next, enter the last month of your firm's fiscal year. This will determine when ESILAW will notify you that a year-end must be run. If applicable to your state or province, enter the cash receipt limit. Client files with cash receipts exceeding this limit display on the Receipts Journal report. The previous year adjustments password is used when entering adjustments for the previous fiscal year. Leave this field blank unless you are currently entering previous year adjustments. Select Yes, Recommended, No, or Always to activate or deactivate the automatic backup. Do not select Always if you run a network version of the program. The automatic backup is not intended to replace a complete backup stored off-site. Remember to check your backups regularly to ensure your data is being backed up properly. Select Use Originating Lawyers if you wish ESILAW to track originating lawyers on client files and their contributions to the firm. Select Create Conflict Database if you wish ESILAW to automatically add clients and matters to a conflict of interest database as you are opening them. A search screen with the names of potential conflict of interest parties will automatically display when new client names are entered. If you do not enable this feature, you can manually enter and view conflict of interest information using the Client and Matters feature. Conflict data is retained even when client files are closed. Select Auto Print Limitation Diary if you wish to use limitation dates and want the daily limitation reports to print automatically when ESILAW starts the first time each day. Select Display News and Updates to Administrators only if you want ESILAW Internet notifications for updates, newsletters, etc. to display for administrative users only. Select Display Audit Numbers after posting to display a window with the transaction audit number after clicking Post in Data Entry features. Select Print Audits after posting if you want to be prompted to print transaction audits after clicking Post in Data Entry features. If this option is disabled, you can also print your audits by selecting Print from the File menu. Please note that audits do not need to be printed since they are retained indefinitely in ESILAW. Indicate whether to allow trust overdrafts on clients. If overdrafts are allowed, a warning message will still display if a check is entered that will cause a client to go into overdraft, but you have the option to override the message and continue. If you produce your checks manually, I recommend that you select this option. Select Print Checks if you want the option to print checks immediately after posting them. If this option is disabled, the Print After Posting option in the Check Entry features will be unavailable, and you'll need to print checks by selecting Print from the File menu. Select Combine Audits to print both pages of transaction audit reports on a single page. Under Menu, select Standard to display each menu as a separate navigator. Select Simplified to display one navigator in which frequently used features are accessible. The Simplified menu is the default. However, some new users find the Standard menu more intuitive, in that navigators display all menu items. You may need to look at both of these options to see which one will suit the needs of your firm. If desired, select a bitmap, a file with extension BMP, to appear on the ESILAW's login screen. In the Canadian version of ESILAW, you will also have the option to enter the date on which client identification and verification became effective in your province. Client files opened on or before this date are automatically marked pre-existing. Select Validate Client Status for Trust to enable this option. Client identification and identity verification applies only to firms operating in Canada. In the Canadian version of ESILAW, you also have the option to set the Trust Administration Fee field. Select Client, Firm, or No Prompt to choose the default setting for charging the Trust Administration Fee when entering trust receipts. The Trust Administration Fee applies only to firms operating in British Columbia, Canada. In the TAF Disbursement Code field, select the disbursement code used to track the Trust Administration Fee. Choose the TAF code unless you have set up a different code. In the TAF File ID field, enter the file ID assigned to your firm by the Law Society of British Columbia. Click Save to save the system settings. The Tax Settings tab on the System Settings screen lets you verify the name, address, and tax settings. Some, if not all of these fields, will already have data based on questions that you answered in the Setup Wizard. You do not need to re-input this data if it is correct. Click Edit to make changes as necessary. Use Enter tab or the mouse to navigate through the fields. Click Save to save the tax settings. The other tab on the System Settings screen that will be necessary for your conversion is the Control Accounts tab. This tab will be discussed in the Quick Start Customize the Chart of Accounts video tutorial. All other System Settings tabs are optional and will be addressed as necessary. If you wish to continue with the Quick Start setup of ESILAW, please select the Quick Start Add Lawyers and Timekeepers video tutorial next.